Hello and welcome to an update of the Titans. So my African night crawlers are in this breeder bag. And let's see how these guys are doing. I love the zipper, you can just open it up with one hand. So I have, as you can see, have it covered with some bubble wrap because I need to keep a lot more moisture in here, and this really helps. So I see already some lively characters on top. This is all castings. This is they have the most amazing castings, these guys. Unlike the other composting worms that I have. So let's see how these guys are doing. I love their colors. They just shimmer. They have very nice size on them. And they're very lively. Just what I like to see. And I've had no escapees since they've been in this system, which is of course one of the reasons that I like it so much. The second reason I like this system is because it's shallower. It just goes right into this mortar tray. I had a ton of them laying around, and I love to reuse things that I already have. Beautiful guys, they're really great size. And the material is really flaky. Very moist, but very, very flaky, if that makes sense. So I think we fed here. Yeah, still going on with this apple. Apples take a while to decompose. But they did pretty good with the food that I gave them. We've got some young ones here. I'm thinking that this is getting close to harvesting. I think I might just do that. I might start. They can work over the rest of the bedding, what's left in here, little by little, but I think this might be a good time to prepare for harvesting. So I'm just gonna create a space here in one side, and that's the side I'm going to feed. It's called horizontal migration, where you have the worms migrate to one side, leaving you basically worm-free castings on the other side. So we just pile this all up. And then I'm gonna lay down some new bedding and food on that side. So you can see I put in about an inch of dry bedding. And now I'm going to add the kitchen waste. I'm just going to kind of spread it out here for them. This stuff was previously frozen, and we defrosted it. And so it also lost a lot of liquid, but there's plenty still left in there. So I'm not too worried about it being overly dry, because it's not. what I am going to do now is give them their grit. And this is just some pulverized eggshell and oyster shell combo, which is what I have. And now I'm going to put just a little bit more dry bedding on top. This is going to keep everything nice and covered because I'm not using any of the castings to cover this, all right? Because I want to harvest the castings. But what I am going to do is, because I want the worms to relocate as quickly as possible, I am not a very patient person. I'm going to make it enticing for them and water this thing down. Oops. This way it's going to be nice and moist. They will not move into a dry area. So we're going to make it very enticing for them. I think that should do it. And then I just move the material down a little bit. And now they can freely, when they're ready, move into our new feeding area. I'm going to cover this back up with bubble wrap, and everything is going to stay nice and moist. And because there's still quite a bit of bedding here, they're going to work this material over while they take their time getting into the new bedding and the new food, which is absolutely fine. When I'm ready, I will just do a harvest, and when I sift whatever material I have that hasn't been completely worked over, goes right back in here, so nothing is wasted. That's also one of the reasons I like to sift, aside from the fact that I separate a lot of the cocoons and worms from the castings. I mean, I don't know about you, but I know that enough cocoons and baby worms manage to get through the sifter anyway. So, if you want to introduce worms to your garden, believe you me, when you put castings in, you're introducing them. They're in there. You can't get every single worm. But I certainly don't want to just take a whole bunch of worms and put them in my garden. I mean, they won't survive the winter. So, yeah, these guys are done. And now we can go over to the European night crawlers. Here is our bin with the European night crawlers. And this is just my marker, so I remember where I fed. This bin is very nice and moist. Now, they do still have plenty of bedding, so we're not even going to think about harvesting. But they got some nice size to them, these guys. Nice and lively bunch. And we've got some young worms too. Got babies. So I don't know if you can tell the difference between these castings and the African nightcrawler castings. I mean, it's like night and day. And when you feel them, the difference is even more apparent. These are a lot heavier. So let's see how these guys are doing. Yeah, plenty of babies. Plenty of babies. guys are still working on it. Still working. Maybe I'll give them just a little bit. I don't want to overfeed. But since I won't feed this bin again for a week, I'll just give them a little something. Just a little bit. Like right here. That's all, like literally a handful. Give a little bit more grit. Now, typically I would also add some bedding, but you know, I'm looking at this and there's still enough bedding here where I don't think I need to add any more right now. I may adjust it next week or the week after that, but at this point, I think the feeding is kitchen waste, I think, is all they need. So that's it. That's it for the Titans. They're doing well, and hopefully we'll get these guys migrated and into the feeding area, and I can harvest. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.